What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Behind Enemy Lines. This is a collaboration with myself, Last Second Sports, and Jake Ellenbogen covering the Rams. What's up, Jake? How you doing, brother?
I'm good, Jesse. Always a pleasure to talk ball with one of my favorites that I've ever come across, brush shoulders with, virtually, of course, on the internet. So I appreciate you as always, and I cannot wait to meet you in person. But tomorrow?
Tomorrow, man, it's crazy. So for those of you that don't know, we've got an NFC West event we're doing with Roundtable Sports. Jake and I are there every Tuesday, so you can catch that tonight at 9 p.m. if you have not been following it, 9 p.m. Eastern. And it's myself, Brandon, who I'm sure you've seen on our channels, Mike, who covers the Cardinals, and we're doing an NFC West event at the game on Thursday, which means we're traveling tomorrow, which is why we're doing this show today. And yeah, so I'm looking forward to it, Jake. Definitely looking forward to meeting you in person. But first, man, we really got to hash out this game and what the hell is going to happen. And I got to ask you, usually when I ask this question, it's like, oh, we're just trying to make the playoffs or we're just trying to make it through the season. It's not a lot of confidence from a lot of the teams that are being covered, but you have a different perspective when it comes to the Rams. And so when I ask you what your preseason expectations were for the Rams and are they living up to it, I'm expecting a very, very different answer because you are supremely confident in this team, Jake. So when the schedule came out and the team was put together, what were your expectations for these Rams this year?
Super Bowl, my friends. Super Bowl, Super Bowl, Super Bowl. And I understand some people who are for like the first time ever hearing me talk and they see the Rams stuff in the background. They're like, oh, he's just a homer. And I'm like, well, have to understand this. The Rams and Eagles, I believe, were the best teams at the end of last year. And I'm a big believer that in any postseason, not just the NFL, but baseball, basketball, the hottest teams are the ones that typically win it all. They don't necessarily have to be the best teams all year. To me, it's the best team that dealt with what their path was ahead. And some teams have an easier path than others. And yeah, hate to break it to you, life isn't fair. So there are teams that play on hard mode. There are teams that play on semi-easy mode. But it's all about what you do because there's only going to be one team standing regardless. And, I've seen the Rams win a Super Bowl with a safety that they called to come out of retirement 2 years into retirement. They asked him to come out of retirement, Eric Weddle, and he has a harness holding his shoulders together because they were both dislocated in the Super Bowl. I've seen them play with a third-string tight end who got hurt on the first snap of said Super Bowl and play with Odell Beckham Jr., who goes down in the middle of the Super Bowl, and now they're relying on their fifth or sixth receiver, right? So yeah, I mean, I've seen it. Like, you have to go through it. Doesn't matter. No one is going to feel sorry for you at the end of the day. That's just not how the NFL works. So I just felt like coming into this year, based on last year, I thought the Rams got even better, adding Devontae Adams, adding Poona Ford, and you were higher on Poona Ford than I was, and I was high on Poona Ford. But bringing back Ahkello Witherspoon, which I thought was very key and critical, and as we're seeing, his absence is showing how key and critical he is. So yeah, I just felt like, another year for a lot of these younger players that are already like veterans. The mindset has changed, Jesse. I know for a fact in the past, the Rams have, I don't want to say looked ahead of a team, but they've had games circled. And this year, they already know what it's like. There's no games that are circled. They didn't overlook the Titans because of the Eagles game. They didn't overlook the Colts because of the Eagles game. And they're not overlooking the 49ers. They're not overlooking the Colts before the 49er game. There's no overlooking. There's no trap games. I don't believe trap games exist unless you are you don't have the veteran leadership in your locker room that allows you to think, I guess, in a way like an amateur. And so now you start circling games, and it's like, why? You don't play 162. You play 17 guaranteed. And if you want to make sure that there's an 18, 19, 20, or 21, you best be sure to be prepared. So that's just kind of how I see it. The Rams have just shifted. They're very confident, almost to the point where they're almost too confident. I have heard that. But I've heard that it's just been every single game, and that's how they look at it. Every game is its own event. We're not looking ahead. We're not looking behind. And they're just going to move forward, and they're going to play every game every single week and get ready for it as it appears.
It's interesting because we did our preseason Super Bowl predictions, and I think I don't remember if I had the Bills or the Ravens. I might have the Ravens, which just looks awful right now. But I was going back and forth between the Bills and the Ravens, and I was going back and forth between the Bucks and the Rams. And I ended up going with the Rams. And for a lot of the reasons that you just said, I look at a team that was this close to beating Philadelphia in the snow on the road, and they got so much better on paper with guys like Puna Ford and Devontae Adams. And it was just clear to me the offensive line improved. It was just clear to me that this team is really, really good. And I've been talking about it since the preseason. And a lot of people that watch the NFC West Roundtable or even my channel, 49er fans, for some reason, there's like a lack of respect for the Rams. I don't understand it.
I see it everywhere.
I was watching them play the Eagles, and when they had that 26-7 lead, I was like, this is what I'm talking about. This team is extremely legit. Now, obviously, they blew the lead, 2 blocked field goals, which is kind of fluky. But either way, they lost. You know what I mean? But it was on the road again, and it's against the best team, arguably, in the NFL. And they were right there with them again. And they're going to have to figure out how to beat the Eagles and actually finish them. But they were able to contain Saquon Barkley. That game was just very different than what we had seen last year. And then again, this week, they play another undefeated team, a very hot Colts offense, and they find a way to win 27-20. Again, a little fluky. It goes both ways with the Adonai Mitchell dropping the ball right before the end zone. But either way, the Rams have started out very hot. And that leads me to Matthew Stafford, because Matthew Stafford had this back that was injured before the season. We heard about an epidural, like he was pregnant and giving birth or whatever was going on there. And I remember reaching out to you in private, and I said, hey, man, you know this team inside and out. And for those that don't know, I think I can let the cat out the bag now. Jake knew a week before that Aaron Donald was retiring. He knew it. So, that was incredible that he was able to know that. And he knows a lot about this team. He hears a lot about this team. And so when Matthew Stafford was hurt, I reached out and I was like, Jake, what is this for real? And you're like, it's nothing to worry about. They're not concerned. I'm not concerned. He's fine. And here we are, a lot of people making fun of Stafford, and he's going to get hurt. There's no way he makes it through the season. And it's our team that can't keep quarterbacks healthy, believe it or not. And Matthew Stafford might be playing some of the best ball he's played. I get it. He's not on pace for 5,000 yards and 50 touchdowns, but he is on pace for like 35 touchdowns, over 4,000 yards. He's extremely efficient. And really, it's the timing in which these plays are happening. It's the deep throws to Devontae when they really need it, or a deep over to Puka when they've got to have it. He's just so damn clutch, and the arm has not faded at all. He can make all of the throws still. May not be as mobile, but man, when you age the way that it's like, it reminds me of Brett Favre. When he aged, Jake, how much more efficient he got and how much easier the game was and how much it slowed down. That's the type of time that Stafford's on, at least from what I'm watching. And I watch quad box every week, so I see most snaps. Do you think that Stafford's as good as he's ever been, or close to it at this point?
I think so. I think the Eagles game was just kind of an off game. It's like even, the best starting pitchers in baseball, they get shelled every now and then. And I think that's what Stafford had, one of those where you're just like, he's not hitting the throws that he normally hits, even the layups, right? And immediately people go, something's off, something's wrong, right? Well, I understand that. I understand how you feel, maybe something is off, but let's see what he does the next week. And so what he does is he comes back, and literally the next week, he does what he did against the Colts. And I saw some people saying, like, he didn't have that great of a game. And I'm like, I don't know. In a world in 2025 where people just obsess over box score, now we're saying guys with the box score don't have great games, like 375, 3 touchdowns. And I thought he was better than the numbers suggested. I mean, he made some absolutely insane throws like he always does. He's tied for first in the NFL, according to PFF, in terms of big time throws with Dak Prescott, who I also think is incredibly underrated and never gets the respect that he deserves either. But, I think with Matthew Stafford, this offense is nowhere near where it's going to be. This offense right now is just get it to Puka Nacua. Devontae Adams is going to have his And we haven't figured out how to get Jordan Whittington and Tutu Atwell involved. And as you can see, this is why I've been clamoring for the Rams to use Tutu Atwell, because you can 88-yarder that you can just cash in there like a credit card. Yeah, it's just, I mean, and the thing is, he's not just a straight down the field guy. He's somebody that he can break ankles. He broke Mekhi Blackman's ankles and created the separation. Very crafty route runner. And he's also not afraid to go up and high point the football with his 5'9", $165 frame. But the point being, Jesse, is that right now the Rams are kind of having a little bit of an identity crisis in the passing attack. Tyler Higbee's barely been utilized, right? Colby Parkinson had 2 catches on that final drive. He didn't really do anything aside from that. Those were important. Davis Allen had a catch, and then he had one that was taken away. But like this tight end room, they drafted a guy who they said they would have taken at 26, a guy that you know very well in Terrence Ferguson, who isn't even getting on the field. He's inactive. They said he's not ready. Les Snead, the general manager, was on the McVay show because obviously it's a short week. McVay didn't have time to do it. So Les Snead comes on a short week and he says, yeah, he's just not ready yet. His best is yet to come. He's not ready. So what I found fascinating is I saw it when I went back and I watched all 22, but then I kept seeing it like tweeted out. The Rams went to more 11 personnel, which they normally do before this year. They've been trying this 12 personnel grouping. They ran it the 11th most last week, which is very high for them. Mm-hmm. And they went to over 80% 11 personnel. And you know what the key to that was? Puka Nacua was playing tight end. That
work
right there, I said it on a show just a little bit ago. Jesse, this is going to sound crazy. People say the Rams don't have an Aaron Donald on this team. And I push back and I disagree. They got an Aaron Donald. It's Puka Nacua, the offensive Aaron Donald. Puka Nacua is a top 3 player, not receiver. He's the best receiver in the NFL because he can do everything. He's beating man. He's beating zone. He's the best blocking wide receiver right now. He can be your gadget guy. But the thing about Puka is that he, because of all of that, is literally a top 3 player. I believe the 3 best players in the NFL currently, Josh Allen, Myles Garrett, Puka Nacua. And I don't care what order you put them in, but those are the 3 best players in the NFL. So I just feel, Jesse, like right now it's hard because Puka is going to have some crazy season as long as he stays healthy. And he plays a brand of football that's not a guarantee. But if he does stay healthy, he's probably going to break the record. He is. He's not going to win Triple Crown because he doesn't catch a lot of touchdowns for whatever reason. That's besides the point. But I think the thing right now at the Rams offense, and this is why Stafford's so impressive, is that I just don't think it's really that diverse yet. I think it's going to be very diverse after the bye. After that Jaguars game, they have the bye. And then I think after that, the second half of the season, you're going to see a way more diverse offense. And I think that's when Stafford, you mentioned 5,000 yards. I mean, it could be that if it works out. The good news is the run game got going against the Eagles and has continued against the Colts. It's just Sean McVay likes to abandon it. Hopefully he doesn't do that against the 49ers.
Well, Blake Corum's starting to come on, man. He's starting to make a difference as well. And I would say the most impressive thing from Stafford, he missed some throws in that Eagles game, which I think was probably the difference, So, I mean, I'm not going to like sit here and say he's infallible because he's not. He definitely missed some easy ones, some normal ones that would be layups. And if he hits those, that game very well could have ended differently. But what I will say in watching him is his deep ball accuracy right now is, whoa. I mean, he is so on point with that deep ball right now. And he's got plenty of guys. Devontae Adams can still take the top off. Puka, obviously, Tutu. So he's just, I don't know, man. He's surgical. He's very surgical. He's a good player. And it's why I continue to put him in the top 5 until proven otherwise. He just has to be there. I'm a big Justin Herbert guy. I've always advocated for Herbert, but I always keep Stafford ahead of him because I think that is the difference. The separator is that deep ball. That deep ball is a separator, and Matthew Stafford still got it in spades. So
I like that. And I love Justin Herbert. And I'm bummed because the deep ball is going to be very non-existent now with Joe Alt out. They're going to have to start just hitting the quick hitters because they're going to have no time for the long developing plays. It's a bummer. We got it for what, 4 weeks?
Yeah, yeah, we got it for 4 weeks. All right, well, let me ask you this. Eh, what would you say is the strength of this Rams team? There's quite a few directions I think you can go with this one, but when you say 2025, 2026 Los Angeles Rams, what is the staple of this team in your opinion?
Oh man, I mean the way you worded that makes me want to go defense, but I'm gonna say it's Matthew Stafford.
Okay.
There's just not too many teams that have a guy, and I was saying this earlier. You have a guy in Stafford who cashes in the fourth quarter. That's actually my biggest issue with Trevor Lawrence. I don't believe he can do that. I believe now you have to start shifting to more of a balanced attack. You have to manage the game at the end. You have to have more of those long developing drives. Whereas if you only have 50 seconds, that's enough for Stafford to go down the field and score a touchdown. He can make any throw on the field. I've seen it. Any throw. He's made throws that I know for a fact, Jesse, you can't even attempt in a video game because they don't have the animations for them. Like the one to Puka last year against the Bills, he threw that out of bounds, knowing Puka was going to stretch. It's just, you can't throw that in Madden. You can't even do that in a video game. He's making throws you can't even do virtually. It's insane.
Yeah, Matthew Stafford is incredible. Talk to me though about that defensive line in particular. I mean, it's crazy because Aaron Donald's no longer on this team, but this might be the best the defensive line's ever been. I mean, it's extremely impressive, very deep, a lot of players really everywhere. The addition of Puna Ford has been massive, but Verse, man, golly, this guy is really turning into one of the best edge rushers quickly in the NFL. Talk to me about that defensive line and the strength over there.
Yeah, I think the defensive line, the craziest thing about them is that you already knew Jared Verse was legit from last year. What you didn't know is that Byron Young was going to take another step. And now he's taken another step and he's leading the league in sacks. Now you got, Kobe Turner is another year into his development. Puna Ford, Braden Fisk. And I'll tell you right now, Rams fans are sleeping on Braden Fisk more than anybody. And you know why? Because Braden Fisk had a serious injury, leg injury against the Eagles. And because he came back, it was almost worse for him. Okay? Because he came back and never missed time, people don't realize what he went through, the rehab he's gone through. I don't feel like he's all the way there yet. So Rams fans are like, where's Braden Fisk? Whatever. He doesn't have any sacks. And it's like, well, he had 3 pressures last week. He's starting to come alive. And that is somebody, he's part of the puzzle. You have all those guys. You got Tyler Davis, a 5th-round pick out of Clemson who's really emerging. They love him. You got Josiah Stewart, who every time that dude is on the field, it looks like he's about to make a huge play. He's just an energizer bunny, and he's so good against the run despite the fact he's so small. And it's just, you see the way these pieces work in unison. Even a guy like Nick Hampton, who they put out there on rundowns. I mean, I really like what they've done. Could they add another guy maybe in the offseason? Sure, right? But I think that the defensive line is built to stop the run. And I think they're built to rush the passer, and I think they're going to get better. And I think that's the thing is you might argue maybe they're missing just another rusher in that rotation, but they look really good, man. And they're hard because the way that they built their defensive line, the defensive front, it's a lot of athleticism. It's a lot of shiftier, quicker guys. It's why Daniel Jones to start the game, when you saw him against the Titans or you saw him against the Broncos, that just a quick sprint, get around, get the first down. He doesn't get that on the first drive because Byron Young chased him down. The Rams have players like that really make them hard because nowadays everybody has a mobile quarterback except for the Rams and Steelers at this point. So, it's good to have guys like that in your back pocket.
Yeah, it's crazy because I watched them against the Colts. There was multiple times where guys got it. It almost looked like free blitzers. That's how quick they got in, but they were actually blocked, kind of. Like the attempt was there, and they were just so quick and so good at shedding blocks. They were right there on Daniel Jones. He didn't have any chance on some of those plays. It was absolutely insane, and that's the matchup that I'm looking for in this game. Really is. Can the 49ers offensive line give any time to either of their quarterbacks? I mean, if I'm Brock Purdy, I'm like, yeah, my toe hurts really bad, guys. Mac Jones, you got this, brother. I don't want to deal with that defensive line with the hurt toe and no wide receivers. Like, that's not going to bode well for me. So, I mean, we'll see who ends up playing, but either quarterback, I'm certainly worried for this week because that defensive line is no freaking joke, man. No joke.
Oh yeah. No, it's not going to be easy.
Fish are relaxing says the Niners should sit all their starters and just try to get healthy. Yeah, at this point, might as well just take a week 5 bye week, right? This is a good question. Foot, great name. It says Rams Insider. Would you rather play a healthy Mac Jones or a 75% Brock Purdy?
I mean, the problem is I don't care. Like, I'm going to say something that's a little brutal, but you know where I'm going with it. I don't know how much better Brock Purdy is than Mac Jones.
Okay, this is it's not surprising because I've kind of heard you talk over the last couple of weeks, but you're a guy that profusely praised Brock Purdy. Like you were all over praising Brock Purdy the first few years he was in the league, including last year. I think you were higher on Brock Purdy than I was, which is insane.
Think I was, yeah.
I'm almost positive you were. But now you've kind of seen it play out for a longer period of time. Jake, I'm going to throw a stat at you that I put on a short today. So Brock Purdy has 38 career regular season starts, okay? A lot of 49er fans take a lot of stock in those first 19 games where he was on fire, man. He was phenomenal. But the back half of that, the final 19 games that he has played, 26 touchdown passes, 20 interceptions in 19 games. And that is the most recent data that we have. It's literally half of his career regular season starts. And for some reason, he gets this leash from fans like he has put together 4 or 5 elite years, and he just hasn't done it. I mean, half his career, he's played at a very high level, and half of his career, not so much. And that's the most recent part. So when you look at Brock Purdy, and I don't know if you want to call it a regression or just the league catching up, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, why have you soured a little bit on Brock Purdy? What are you seeing from him?
It's really the decision making to me, Jesse.
Yeah.
I think, and this is really what I expected. I didn't know he would regress this hard, but I expected him to get confident, comfortable, and start to kind of more so he was playing within the confines of the system that, Kyle Shanahan wanted him to. And I think that helped him look really good. And I think he was really good. But the problem is then he started to get cocky because obviously he had a lot of, in my opinion, he had a lot of success early on. And I think that led to him taking these throws down the field, that second level, that third level throw that he just should not attempt. And I don't think it's not just him. I mean, I'd say probably 25 out of the 32 starting quarterbacks shouldn't attempt, but he's attempting those. You go back, you look at the game against, oh my God, I forget. What was the first game of the year he played? The quadruple coverage throw? It was against Seahawks. Seattle, right?
Yeah.
Just, I mean, how are you attempting that throw? And I see this, just because he doesn't get picked off doesn't mean that throw wasn't bad. And I see it brought up by you, but I don't always see it brought up. And so, like, when I'm watching, because I try to be fair, when I'm watching, because I like going back and watching all 22 on different quarterbacks. I like evaluating quarterbacks. And when I watch Brock Purdy, it feels like he still has that cockiness. And at the same time, when he's letting it go, he kind of almost like, it's like a half-ass, like, oh, what am I doing? Like, he doesn't look confident when he's throwing the football. He looks confident. It's like he's already decided where he's going with the football, but he doesn't look confident when he releases it. Does that make sense? Because that's kind of what absolutely. I see. Yeah. I don't know. I think I told you the Tommy John surgery freaked me out too. I wouldn't have paid him for that reason. So,
Yeah, I mean,
that's more so my baseball. Tough.
Yeah, I think for me, again, like the decision making is exactly where I'm at, and I've said it a million times, and I'll say it again. When he was coming out, I had a 3rd round grade on him. Obviously, he was the last pick in the draft, but I did see a lot of potential in Brock. But the only reason I didn't have him higher wasn't because of his size or his arm strength or any of that. It was his decision making. It just regressed back to back to back, and I talked about it after his first start. I said, guys, just so you know, he does have a little bit of Jimmy Garoppolo in him where he's going to just go YOLO on you. And it didn't show up for a full season. Plus, for the most part, And I look kind of stupid for saying it because I'm like, well, maybe he's just worked his way out of it. But slowly but surely, it's crept back into his game. And it shows up in practice, and people act like practice doesn't mean something. But when you did it in college, you do it in practice, and now you've done it for the better part of 19 starts, which is half of your regular season starts. At some point, this is just who you are. And when I look at a player like Brock Purdy, who I believe has a game manager skill set, but acts as if he doesn't, that's where the issue comes in. There is nothing wrong with being a very good game manager and playing within the system, because that's what wins games. And that's why he was winning very early on. But the moment you start to step out of that and you think you're more than what you are, that's where the issues start to come in. And that's what I'm seeing from him. He has the checkdowns available on a regular basis, and he just won't take them for whatever reason. And if he did and kept drives alive, that would be all the difference in the world. So I don't know. We'll see if he can work his way out of it, but that's what I'm seeing from him right now. No doubt about it.
Yeah. My problem is right now, with that said, he looks like Case Keenum. And Case Keenum led the Vikings to the NFC Championship game. So it's not entirely like to spit in his face. But at one point we were talking about like Brock Purdy could be something really big in this league. He could be a top 10 quarterback, and I don't feel like he's anywhere near top 10 right now.
No, and the problem is that when you evaluate Shanahan quarterbacks, is they all get a boost. They all get a boost. Jimmy Garoppolo is a backup in this league, and he looked like a top 15, top 20 starter. Mac Jones is either a low-tier starter or a backup quarterback. He looks like a top 20-ish guy. So if you get, let's say, a 10-spot boost, and if Brock Purdy looks like the 15th best quarterback or 12th best quarterback, that probably means he's the 25th or 12th or 22nd best quarterback. And that's the reality of the situation. So
yeah, no, I completely agree. And I mean, I think like Purdy, the first time he played against the Rams earlier in the year, I would say that Purdy against the Rams, that is going to be a really good player in this league for a long time. And then you saw him, and obviously, like it was pouring. He didn't look good in San Francisco on that short week. I mean, Stafford didn't look good either, but I mean, Purdy left throws on the field, and actually in a lot of ways, I don't know if you've gone back and watched that game recently, but in a lot of ways, I think that Shanahan set him up to have multiple layers where he had the underneath layer multiple times and passed that up to go deep down the field to a Pearsall, to go deep down the field, to whoever, Jennings. Right? Yeah. And that's the Jennings, exactly. And it's like, I'm not a big Deebo Samuel guy, but Samuel was wide open. I don't know if it was the drop at the beginning of the game where like Purdy's like, I'm not throwing you again. But Samuel was open underneath like a ton. And I feel like he just was like, no, I'm just going to keep going down the field. And in a game that was so close, I just don't know how you justify that.
Yeah, it was a game that both quarterbacks didn't play well, to your point, but Stafford made enough throws. And the first game was exactly like that too, where Stafford made the timely throws. It's not about playing great all the way through, but as long as you can hang around and you make those timely throws, and Stafford did it in both those games. I mean, he came up clutch when you needed it most. And the problem that I have with Brock Purdy too is that most of his interceptions are unforced errors. Like we can talk about how bad the offensive line is, but you got to break it down play by play. The plays where he's throwing interceptions, a lot of times it's on first down, completely unnecessary. You got 2 more downs to live by, and it's without pressure in his face. And so you can talk about, he was pressured half the time, but was he pressured on the throws, or was it bad decision making? And most of the time it's bad decision making. The game that you're talking about, he had 4 guys open underneath. He passed it up on a first down and threw it into double coverage to Jennings down the field and got picked. And that was essentially the game. It's like, that was so unnecessary, man. It's early down. You're right there in field goal range. You don't need to do this. It just makes no sense. And you were pressured, but you had some guys in front of you. All you had to do was just dump it off, man.
That's what I expect Jackson Dart to do. Like, he's new to the league, right? Like, he's going to get, he's going to get carried. But this isn't going to last. Right. Like, he's eventually going to start. And he didn't look amazing throwing the football either. But anyway,
No.
The point being, right, is that like, you can't be making those throws. And it's like, I would have expected Purdy to. It's like you've already passed the point where you were supposed to be doing these things. And if you didn't make mistakes then, why are you making them now? I think he's just gotten comfortable, Jesse. I think that's the problem.
Well, we'll see if he can turn it around. Roger Morales says, safe travels to both y'all. Ready to have a few cold ones with y'all and the rest of the Roundtable crew. Can't wait to see you, Roger.
Can't wait,
SoCal
Roger.
Ram, member for 11 months. I love SoCal, man.
SoCal's
Fisher
great.
Relaxing is back. He says, Brock is a gunslinger without a gun for an arm. That's what I was looking for, gunslinger. So he's a game manager skill set with a gunslinger mindset. That's exactly what Jimmy Garoppolo was. And that's what Brock is turning into. And you just cannot play that way. You cannot.
No.
He doesn't have the skill set for it.
No, you can't play that way.
SoCal Ram says, Jesse, remember what happened the last time we went to the Rams game? I don't know what you're talking about, SoCal. I'm going to act like we have no idea. What Rams game? I've never been there. This is my first time. All right, let's do a little bit of Sleeper, Jake. Both of us are sponsored this year by Sleeper, so you can get a 100% deposit match up to $100 using promo code LSS. The link is pinned to the top of the chat, or it is pinned to the top of the description. You can also use promo code JKB if you want to give Jake some credit for that. Either way, we are both sponsored by Sleeper this year. So make sure that if you're playing any sort of fantasy football or you want some skin in the game, some skill-based things like we're about to do with some more or less, use promo code JKB or LSS to get your 100% deposit match. Let's make some picks right now, Jake. Matthew Stafford, we're taking our freebie. Sleeper is my favorite because they always give you a freebie. Every time you go in there, they give you that freebie. And all you have to do is add one more to it and you're good. So if you have one that you're confident in, just take the easy wins, man. It may not be the biggest payout, but this is about skills and stacking money. Take those freebies all day long. Matthew Stafford just needs one passing yard and we win. I'm going to ask you, okay, here's an interesting one for you. Do we want to go here? All right. Tutu Atwell, 9.5 receiving yards. He's very boom or bust in this offense, Jake. But are we going more or less on this one?
Oh, give me. Last time Tutu Atwell actually got a run against the 49ers, he had 90 plus yards. So
he really did. He really did. All right. So we're going 2-2. And then let's see. Devontae, 56. Okay, let me ask you this. You can, never mind. We can't choose Puka because that one's a promo as well. Devontae more or less on 56.5.
That's tough.
Can I tell you a little inside information?
Yeah.
I have a friend who knows Devontae very well. Let's just say Devontae's very excited to face Demo if he gets that matchup. So I'm just gonna throw that out there.
I mean, I think he's way better. I told you I'm not high on Demo at all. Yeah, okay. You talk weird. The Niner guy talked me into it. It's just because like Adams, I mean, this is so perfectly placed because he's about that 60-yard, but he also could have 100 plus. I mean, but yeah, I think I like Moore. Okay. Whittington feels like a trap there because he should, but after last week, I'm not going near Corum. He cost me.
This one's really tough. I almost don't want to pick any 49ers other than CMC and Brian Robinson because I don't know that the rest of these guys are going to play. And
CMC receiving, I would definitely go with.
Yeah, I know that Sleeper is, they'll take the guys out and then your everything else stands, but I'd rather just stay away. So CMC 58.5 rushing yards. Oh my gosh, this is such a tough number. Believe it or not, this was even money yesterday. The less is actually paying more right now. And I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take it, and then I'm gonna go. I'm gonna take less, and I'm gonna go more on Brian Robinson.
Okay. Yeah, I like the more on Brian Robinson.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna go with a Pearsall touchdown.
Explosive, man. If he plays though, he hasn't been practicing.
That's true. Damn. All right. Yeah. Let's.
So I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it.
Oh, Demarcus Robinson. Demarcus Robinson is catching a touchdown against the Rams.
You think so?
Yes.
Okay.
All the injuries going on.
Okay.
And it's against his former team.
Okay. Do you realize what you've done? It went from 13x to 62x. I don't know if I believe the touchdown, but I'm taking it at 62x.
Well, what about Kyron Williams, man?
No. I'm leaving this. Listen, this is too many. I'm letting it ride. $10 pays $624. Tail us or fade us. Promo code JKB or LSS. And either way, you get 5 minutes to change your mind if you get scared. We're obviously going to let it ride, Jake. But yes. 62x, that's the most I've ever had. I can't believe it went from 13x to 62 with one touchdown pick. I absolutely love it. I'm letting that one ride for sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's get it.
I like the revenge ATVs.
No, it's true, though, because he's going to start with all these injuries.
Yeah, he's going to start. I liked it before the injury. Now I don't know who the hell is going to play, but I know he's going to play.
I love this.
He's had a week to get going off the suspension. Yep. And, man, I got to be honest with you. Les Snead was asked point blank, are you going to bring him back? He's like, we don't really feel like that's in our best interest. Or like whatever he said that was so un-Ram-like.
Oh, yeah.
There's going to be a cook. I did find out it was because the suspension. They liked him a lot, but they weren't sure like what the suspension was going to be. And it would have been hard to keep him, man. It was hard to make this roster.
For sure.
So,
all right, man. Give me a lesser known player on this Rams team that is making an impact.
Ooh. We got Thursday night. This is a chance to put yourself out there. Josiah Stewart is going to make an impact in this one.
Okay. Talk to me about Josiah.
He's wearing Cooper Kupp's number 10. I haven't quite gotten used to that. I don't think I'll ever get used to that, to be honest with you. But this guy's just everywhere. He's like an Energizer bunny. He gets about 15 snaps. You know who he reminds me of?
Who's that?
Bryce Huff. When I covered the Jets in 2022, there was this guy, Bryce Huff. Obviously, he's on your team now. Bryce Huff out of Memphis, right? UDFA. And I'm watching him, and I'm like, who the hell is this dude? He's like undersized, and he just gets in there, and he's like an Energizer bunny. When he's on the field, like big things happen, or he's around big things happening, creates havoc. That is what I see with Josiah Stewart. I see a guy like Bryce Huff, and I think Josiah Stewart in 3 years is going to be absolutely lethal. He could be lethal by the end of this year, because I think the other thing is they ran the cheetah package a lot last year with Michael Hoyt, Byron Young, and Jared Verse having 3 edge defenders on the field at once. But the thing about Michael Hoyt is that he's a freak show. He's like 6'5", 280 pounds, 270 pounds, whatever. You know, you're not able to drop into coverage as well. Well, Josiah Stewart is like a small inside backer in a 4-3, right? Outside linebacker in a 4-3. So for him, he's able to drop into coverage. I've actually liked his coverage snaps. I've liked his snaps against the run. That's the guy I would say. I'll give you one on the offensive side as well. I am going to say Jordan Whittington in this one. Because if they do get Jordan Whittington going, he's got enough in the tank where he could absolutely blow up your team. He's like a Debo. Like when Debo in 2021, I'm talking about. He's got that explosive nature. And they've been utilizing him a lot because, like I mentioned, they have Puka Nacua playing the tight end, essentially. But when he's not playing tight end, they want to move him around. Well, then you have Jordan Whittington on the field, number 88, also playing that role. And he shouldn't be up against Laiatu Latu one-on-one, because that's just going to make him look ridiculous, and he was.
That's something Shanahan would do, for sure. I could see it.
I watched that play, and I'm like, no. Because he's such a good blocker, and now PFF is going to be like, oh, he's terrible. It's like, come on. No one's blocking that. But no, I think if they get Jordan Whittington involved early on, it's going to be a problem for the 49ers, because it's his yards after the catch ability that I love about him. So those are the two guys, 10 and 88.
Yep. All right. I love it. I absolutely love it. Gosh, man. 49ers side of the house.
You got to throw Upton Stout in there, man.
Upton Stout is balling. Kalia Davis is certainly making a major difference along this defensive line, and he's stepped up in a big way. He's always had the talent, Jake. He's just been injured, but he's very quick twitch for his size. He's very DJ Jones-esque, like very DJ. And you remember DJ Jones. He was a difference maker, and he still is. Kalia Davis is very, very good, and he's needed. So look out for him. D. Winters as well.
I like him.
Very, very Dre Greenlaw-esque, all the way up to and including the penalties at crazy times. If we could wipe that out of his game, that would be great. But he's a violent player. And you're right, Upton Stout, man. He's been playing some really, really good football. I am concerned about Upton Stout this week, though, because they're going to get Puka Nacua one-on-one with him, and that's not going to go well. I'm just letting you know that right now.
No.
It's just not.
Can I say something, by the way?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because the 49er fans, if they hate me, well, they might like me after this. I picked the Jaguars to win the game, but I'll be the first one to tell you that Upton Stout penalty was BS.
It was BS.
That was BS.
I completely agree, man.
How do you defend in this league if that is called? If that's a penalty, I don't know what we're doing. I'm just saying.
I don't know either.
Because, look, I might not want the 49ers to win because obviously covering the Rams, being a Rams fan, but I don't like that. I really, that has no place in the league. Just if you, it's already so hard to be a corner or a safety or just a defensive player in this league. And it just feels like these guys are just out to get him. And it's ridiculous. That was an interception by Trevor Lawrence. And it was a great play by Upton Stout. And I hate that they called it because I don't think it helped either. Mark Sanchez was like, yeah, the slingshot. What is he talking about?
What is he talking about? Mark Sanchez doesn't know.
Did he think like pulling the shirt was going to like fling him back? Or is he serious? There's no way, bro. That's not a thing. He barely even touched the shirt. Barely even. It's ridiculous.
You didn't see it. Like when a t-shirt is pulled, it gets ripped in the NFL. It happens all the time. Yeah. It wasn't even close. It didn't even hardly stretch. I agree with you, man. It was an awful call.
Ridiculous.
Ian Godden said, isn't Mac Jones also hurt? CMC at quarterback. He's actually fine. So Mac Jones is fine. It's the question of whether Brock Purdy's going to play or not. I don't know. We'll see what happens with Brock. The Thursday night game is iffy for sure. And like I said, if I was him, this would be a good choice to sit this one out. Cryptic says, Jake, so Jesse's now 3-1 or maybe 4-1 when attending Niners versus Rams. What are you going to do to make sure that Jesse doesn't make it to the game? But Roger comes back and says Jesse was the Rams' good luck charm the last time he was at SoFi, Jake. So let's hope that he has the same effect this game. So we have dueling opinions here for sure.
I need to know what I think I have an app for it. I got to find it. My record when the Rams play, because I obviously lost last year.
Yeah, the Eagles game. You know, the thing is that the first comment said against the Rams.
So,
oh yeah, there you go. The first comment said against the Rams. That's my record. That's not true. I've only seen one Rams game, but I think in the Shanahan era, like 8-1 or something like that. So that was the one loss, and we should have won. I mean, we freaking blew it. Really, is what happened. So either
I'm
way,
7-2.
Oh, something's got to give.
Yeah,
something has got to give.
They
wish we were
beat
both
some
undefeated.
good teams.
Wish we were undefeated. Then I'd be like, somebody's O's got to go, but I can't use that. Fisher
Some
Relax
good
says, Jake is the only Rams fan that I like and respect.
I appreciate that, Fish. I will tell you, though, there are some really awesome Rams fans out there that actually know ball. So it's not just
I
me.
agree.
But
I think, this is what I like about my channel is that, a lot of 49er fans don't rock with me because I don't know. They just don't like that I'm not completely biased towards the 49ers.
They just don't like great content. I understand.
But a lot of other fan bases do. And there are a lot of Rams fans that watch me on a regular basis, Seahawks fans, even Cardinals fans, that really do rock with me. And they appreciate that my approach to the analysis. And I will say the Rams fans that rock with me are super cool. And every single Rams fan that recognized me at that game, what was it, last year, the year before, whenever I was there, the nicest people, man. And we took pictures, and I'm wearing my 49er gear. They're wearing their Rams gear. They're all offering me beers and how you doing. Like, it was the best time. I don't usually tailgate. I really thoroughly enjoyed tailgating there, and I was on both sides, and the Rams fans were the classiest, nicest people. It was fantastic. I enjoyed myself.
No, they're really cool. Because I mean, I've tailgated with like Giants fans before and Jets fans, and like Rams fans always invite everybody. You know, they'll joke, you know, early on like, "Oh, what are you doing over here?" But no, it's all love at the end of the day. And I mean, all it is just we like different football teams. It doesn't mean like we're not human beings. Like it's like people take it way too seriously. It's kind of funny.
I know it's literally football, and people like make death threats and
Yeah.
talk about you personally. It's the
And we might
strangest thing in
actually
the
like the
world.
same teams on other, you know, in other sports, which I
For
love.
sure.
That ends up being the case because, of course, I like the Lakers and whatnot. And it's like 49er fans will like the Lakers. I've seen 49er fans like the Lakers and like the Golden Knights, and they like the Yankees. But it's like, you know, what, like you hate me because I don't like the 49ers. It's like we have a differing team. You know, it's like you like three teams that I like, and then just like the football team is different, you know? So,
Oh my gosh. All right, bro. Let's get into the score prediction, man.
yeah.
2 short days away. It's tough because we don't fully know who's going to play and who's not. You know, Pearsall's on the injury report, didn't practice. Jennings same way. If I had to guess, I think Jennings will figure out a way to play. I don't think Ricky plays. Brock is really the question mark for me, and we're going to know, I think tomorrow we should probably know that. But either way, it's going to be Brock or Mac. You think it's roughly the same, so I don't think this should affect your score prediction. Before the season started, I picked the 49ers to sweep the Seahawks, go 1-1 against the Cardinals, and get swept by the Rams. At this point, with all the injuries and watching the Rams play, I got to say, I'm certainly not changing that now. And being there, yes, I've been a good luck charm in the past. I don't know. I don't believe in superstitions really. So I just think that the better team will win. And I do think that is the Rams right now. I think it'll be close though. Division games are usually pretty close. I think, and somebody made a comment earlier, and I forgot to really talk about it, but I do think that if Sean McVay could play Jimmy Garoppolo in this game, because it's a walk-off win, he would love nothing more. I'm sure of it. Because him and Kyle are the ultimate competitors against each other, even though they're friends. I don't think it gets to that, though. I really do think it's going to be a close game. I'm going to go 27-20 Rams. And I think that the touchdown comes relatively late, and the Rams end up winning that game, probably because Matthew Stafford clutches up the way that he usually does. So 27-20 Rams is my prediction. Who you got, and what's your score prediction?
I'm going to say it's 20-17 late in the game, and I think the Rams get a touchdown and make it 27-17 to kind of seal the game.
Okay.
I think it's going to be close, but I got 27-17. I think that, you know, I think Matthew Stafford's going to make some throws. I actually think, you know, something we didn't really talk about a ton. I think Kyron Williams looks like a completely different running back. You know, and they asked him to
in
add
a good
some
way
weight.
or
In a better way, yeah.
Okay.
Because they asked him to add some weight, and I just think he's doing a nice job as far as like the contact balance and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm starting to see that more. He had some runs that like he just created against the Colts, and Steve Avila might play at left guard. He was active. They decided to hold him out, and I feel like without actually saying it, they're telling us he's going to play Thursday. They just didn't want to risk it. So Avila is going to help the pass protection, but he's also a great run blocker. This is one of the best run blocking operations out there in terms of metrics. So yeah, I would say that this is going to be one of those games where I think Kyron Williams is going to be able to run wild a little bit. Not anything crazy because I have respect for the 49ers, you know, run defense, but I think we're going to see him get going, and then they're going to activate play action. And the Rams, while they love to activate play action, it doesn't always work that well because they don't have the protection to do that. But I think we're going to see more protection with Avila this time around, and I think he is going to play, and I think the Rams are going to win 27-17. And Demarcus Robinson caught a touchdown in my prediction for the 49ers. I'm going to say we get another Tutu Atwell touchdown in this one.
Oh, all right. Looking forward to it. We got a couple super chats on the way out. Deb comes in and says, I love when you both do this together. Really like Jesse, but you know Jake's my guy. Jesse, come over to the dark side. 0% chance. You're in no danger of me ever being a Rams fan. Bama Boy says, I would sit Brock Purdy going up against this defensive front. Season could be over before it begins. Mob Squad. Let me ask you this. Let's say that's the scenario they go with, and they play Mac Jones, knowing all the injuries that are on this team accompanying Mac Jones. Let's say Mac Jones plays well and they win. Should there be a quarterback controversy?
100%. And I honestly think Kyle Shanahan low-key wants a quarterback controversy.
He loves it, dude. He loves the drama.
Because Kyle Shanahan is one of the biggest egos in the league, but I think all coaches have it to a degree, so it's not just him. Dude, what better to be like, I took Mac Jones from the gallows and I made him the starting quarterback of San Francisco 49ers, who are 4-1. Bite me, right? Like, that's what he would be saying. Like, he's just like, you kidding me?
Yeah.
Get on my level.
Yeah, he would. He would.
And then they would
All
trade
right,
Brock
Jake.
Purdy to the Bengals at the deadline.
For sure. Yeah, right. Yeah, that's a god. Gee, I don't even want to. All right. Listen, appreciate you joining me as always. Looking so forward to tonight's show on the NFC West Roundtable.
Hell
Looking
yeah.
forward to meeting you in person. Maybe we can get some content while we'll call it a content Airbnb that we're going to be in.
Yes.
If the Wi-Fi is good, maybe we can get some in. Everybody in the chat on both sides, Jake's side of the house, my side of the house, much love. We appreciate all of you. And for those of you attending the game, cannot wait to meet you in person. Be back soon. Talk soon. Much love. Peace.